Welcome back to the Travel Agency New Year podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Kay. Today is day 61, staying engaged with your travel leads and or clients. It's important to maintain contact and engage with people when you are creating content on social media for a number of reasons. And it's also important to maintain a solid and or build a solid relationship with your current clients. It's very difficult to manage all of it. I get it because you have to create the content, schedule the content, all that fun stuff. Plus, you might have a newsletter. You should have a newsletter. Servicing all of your bookings, creating proposals. There's a lot of different hats travel advisors wear. And generating new business via leads and repeat business via clients and or referrals via current clients is how you get revenue in your business. So if you fall asleep not engaging, I don't know why I said fall asleep. If you sleep on it, not engaging, that could really start to kill your business. All right. So here's some tips. Tip number one, I would say, is definitely time block, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But with your regular clients, if you're building your client list and you're new, eventually your VIP clients will emerge. I'm not saying that out of hundreds or thousands of clients, you have to contact all of them repeatedly this way. However, you'll probably end up with about a dozen or so, maybe a little more, who will always they're your ride or die. They're going to book travel until you decide to retire from travel. There are no ifs, ands, or buts around it. So call those people, text them, ask how their lives are. If they're local to you, ask to go out to lunch or something sometime just to catch up, see how their lives are, build more of a relationship than, oh, this is what your next trip should be. And that's a really good way to maintain very good, strong relationships with your VIP clients. And they will be more likely to refer you. I'm not saying this in a manipulative way. I'm not saying pretend you like these people. Like, you actually need to like them. And you should also strive to maintain a nice business relationship. Maybe know a little more about them personally, like congratulate them if they're honeymooners when they buy their first house or they have their first child, send a little gift, ask for photos of the baby. Like, you want to share, be a part of their lives, but also don't share everything about your life with them unless it's like good news yourself. Also, have a plan. This is back to the time blocking for times of day to check on your social media posts and engage accordingly. If you don't schedule like 15 to 30 minutes daily to just check and respond to notifications, and you decide that you're just going to log in because you have time, that's going to turn into a big distraction and you're going to end up doing a bunch of other stuff on social that you don't need to be doing. That's for your personal time. Keep it separate. But be sure to reply to DMs, be sure to reply to comments, and set a specific time of day. It could be, between your lunch break and when you get back to your next task. Like, do about 15 minutes, then give yourself a 5-minute breather to start on your next task. It's not a whole lot of work. Now, I'm sure you're also thinking, what if I have like 10 comments? That's going to take more than 15 minutes to reply. Depending on the call to action that you have in your social media content, you could have responsive prompts. So, for example, if you say comment guide below for your free travel guide, you can create a templated response for all of those people that comment guide, right? And then I think there's ways to even automate responses on different platforms to just send it to them. Also, if you're niched down pretty well, you can have a pretty good template. If someone says, hey, I'd like to learn more, you could have a fairly templated response and then you can just add a little bit to it for their personality a little more. Or if it's like a slightly different destination than what you're promoting, but it's the same type of travel, you want to alter that a little bit, but you can have I don't want to say canned response, but a templated response that's like, oh, great, I'd love to work with you. Please schedule a consultation. You can do so here. Okay, another way that you can create more engagement if you're suffering with engagement on your social media platforms is you can create polls. You can say, I know there's a lot of advisors that say like this or that Thursday or whatever as like a post, like, do you want to do the beach or the mountains kind of thing? So that could be a poll. Another one could be, where would you like, you can actually create it as a poll and have them all vote, is where would you like to take your next vacation? And then list the three destinations that you are wanting to offer. And maybe throw in one that you would never sell. Just see what the response is. Be like, okay, are these people even aligned with me? That's good for like Facebook groups specifically. You could also do it via email newsletters. You can also offer contests or giveaways to boost engagement with your profile on whatever platform. So you could offer contests like the next 5 people who book a consultation for their honeymoon will get I don't know, some kind of free amenity or something. I don't know, something like that. Or like you have a lead magnet and you kind of want to test it out, but you haven't set up the funnel yet. They will get that first draft of that guide, something like that. Okay. Another thing that I'd recommend is get involved locally if you can. If you are in an extremely remote area, that can be hard. But there are many, many organizations that you can join. It can be church, it can be school related if you have children. It can be what am I? Oh, just various associations. I think we've discussed like BNIs, Chamber of Commerce, any nonprofits that you would like to support personally that align with the values of you and your business. Um, there's wedding associations if you're into romance travel. You could join those. And any time that you are participating in various events or fundraisers, you can share that on social, and just let people know, like, hey, we're donating to this cause, or hey, we're doing this, or whatever. And you can get involved. When you get involved locally, you can expand your local network. You might be able to get more new clients from it. But please do not go into these endeavors thinking that you will definitely get business. Like, don't use it as a tool to get more business because people will sense pretty much immediately that you don't care about them at all and you just want to get some business. So don't join a trending nonprofit if it's not aligned with your values, just to, in the hopes that your ICA happens to be a part of that. Now, I'm not saying don't consider any organizations that your ICA may be hanging out in if it's aligned with your interests and your values. Like, do that. That's fine. So for me, I am in the process of reverting to Catholicism and getting confirmed finally. And so I have been for years trying to figure out what nonprofit I'd like to support. Now I'm like, well, no, duh, it's going to be my church. Like, this makes way more sense than all the other nonprofits I've been like waffling about supporting on a regular basis. And I'm just doing it for my own thing. I don't intend to get any business from it. And I also know people ask me and I ask them, oh, what do you do for a living? Why are you here? Da, 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 da. So we learn more about what each other does. So those are different ways to stay engaged with your travel leads and your travel clients, your regular clients, as well as potentially get newer leads, like new leads that are aligned with you and your values. Those are some ideas for you. Okay. I hope this helped you. Don't overwhelm yourself with responding to all of the comments. Oh, and here's another tip. If you get a negative Nancy commenting on some of your content, or just, yeah, just some kind of like total D bag, don't be afraid to Like, don't delete their comment. Don't block them. I don't recommend that. If they're technically boosting you in the algorithm, and I wouldn't say to get into a fight with them either. Like, you could just reply, "Thank you for your input," and just leave it be. So, that's another tip that I would recommend because there's always going to be someone, especially when you start posting on social media platforms and you get more and more exposure. You're occasionally going to get somebody that has nothing better to do but be negative, but don't let it ruin your day. So, all right, with that being said, that is today's episode. Very, very quick. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.